Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright, folks. Today we have some explosive news that could shake up the NFC East and more specifically the Washington Commanders. It's a story that's been brewing behind the scenes, and believe me, it's not just a rumor anymore. We're talking about the possibility of the Commanders making a bold move in the trade market, potentially landing one of the NFL's top young receivers. And no, I'm not talking about just any receiver, it's Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints. If this deal happens, it could significantly alter the landscape for Washington this season and beyond. Let's back up a little and set the scene. The NFL offseason is always a whirlwind, with teams trying to position themselves for success in the upcoming year. The Commanders, after a promising 2024 campaign where Jayden Daniels showed flashes of being a franchise quarterback, are clearly looking to bolster their offense. They've already made some moves, including trading for Deebo Samuel, aiming to add veteran experience and explosive playmaking. But here's the thing, Samuel, while talented, is already 29, and his recent production has been a bit inconsistent, especially last season when he only managed 670 receiving yards. That's well below his peak years, and it raises questions about how much longer he can be a true number one. And Terry McLaurin, the team's established WR1, is also 29, approaching the age where many receivers start to decline. Sure, McLaurin had over 1,000 yards last year, and his chemistry with Daniels looks promising. But if Washington truly wants to make a splash and secure a long-term advantage at receiver, they need to think bigger. They need a young, dynamic talent who can grow with the team, someone who can be a cornerstone for years ahead. That's where the rumors about Olave come into play. Now, why Olave? Well, first, he's just 24 years old, and in his first 2 NFL seasons, he already proved to be a legitimate deep threat and route runner. Over 1,000 yards in each of his first 2 seasons, despite a challenging injury-plagued 2024 where he only played in 8 games. The talent is undeniable. He's got speed, precise hands, and the ability to stretch the field, exactly what the Commanders need to open things up for Daniels and the offense as a whole. But here's the twist. The Saints are reportedly considering trading Olave. That's right. With the Saints entering a bit of a rebuild, especially with their cap space being at the bottom of the league, they're looking at a roster overhaul. The recent draft pick of quarterback Tyler Show at 40th overall has some skeptics questioning the Saints' long-term plans at the position. Daniel Alameda of TWSN even went so far as to say that Show might be a bust, which doesn't exactly inspire confidence in New Orleans' direction. Combine that with the cap issues and the fact that they're bringing in a new head coach, Kellen Moore, and it's understandable that they might look to trade some of their assets to rebuild more effectively. And Olave, despite his injury concerns, remains a highly valuable asset. He's shown he can be a game-changer when healthy. Last season, despite missing time, he demonstrated enough to catch the attention of teams like the Steelers, who are reportedly trying to work out a trade for him with the Saints. If that pans out, Olave could be on the move, and the Commanders should be at the top of the list of interested teams. Let's get a little more specific about why Washington makes so much sense. First, the team's current wide receiver core needs that youthful injection of talent. Deebo Samuel is a solid addition, but at 29, he's not the long-term answer. Terry McLaurin is a proven star, but the team needs someone who can complement him and take some pressure off him, especially as defenses start to double-team McLaurin more often. Olave could be that guy, offering speed and separation that defenses would have a hard time matching. Plus, the potential chemistry between Olave and Daniels could be electric. Daniels has shown that he can get the ball out quickly and accurately, and Olave's ability to make plays after the catch would give the Commanders a real offensive boost. It's the kind of pairing that could unlock the offense and make Washington a more unpredictable, explosive team. And let's not forget the long-term perspective. Olave is only 24, meaning he's entering his prime years. If Washington taps into that potential, they could have a reliable WR2 or even a WR1 for at least the next 5 seasons. That kind of stability at receiver is rare and very valuable, especially considering the NFL's trend toward younger, faster, more athletic wideouts. Now, this isn't just wishful thinking. The NFL is a league where trades happen all the time, especially when teams are looking to rebuild or retool. With cap space constraints and draft capital considerations, the Saints might see a trade for Olave as a smart move to acquire future assets or even draft picks. And for Washington, adding a player of Olave's caliber would be a statement of intent, a clear message that they're serious about contending and building a potent offense. Of course, there are questions. Will the Saints actually trade Olave? That's still uncertain. But with the rumors swirling and teams like the Steelers reportedly in the mix, it's clear that Olave's future is up in the air. For the Commanders, the opportunity to pounce on a young, talented receiver like Olave could be a game changer. Imagine a scenario where Washington pulls off this trade. They could pair Olave with McLaurin, creating a duo that defenses would struggle to contain. Daniels would have two reliable targets who can both threaten defenses vertically and make plays after the catch. It would push Washington's offense to another level, making them not just a team that relies on their defense, but one that can actually put up points with consistency. And speaking of the defense, Washington's unit has been steadily improving with the addition of young talent and smart drafts. But to truly compete in the tough NFC East, they need an offense that can keep pace. Olave could be the spark that ignites that fire, turning Washington into a more balanced and dangerous team. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about the risks? Injuries, cap space, and the fact that Olave has had some injury issues, those are valid concerns. But in today's NFL, the risk often comes with the reward. If Washington can secure Olave without giving up too much in draft capital, it could be a win-win. They get a young, proven receiver, and the Saints get to rebuild with some much-needed assets. Plus, this move would send a message across the league that the Commanders are serious about winning now and in the future. It's a bold statement, and in the NFL, bold moves often lead to big success. So keep an eye on this story, it's still unfolding, and if the trade happens, it could be one of the biggest offseason pickups for Washington in recent memory. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, if this trade does go through, the impact on the NFC East will be significant. The Eagles and the Cowboys will have to look at how they defend against a much more potent Washington offense with Olave in the mix. The division is already competitive, but adding a player like Olave could tip the scales in Washington's favor, making them a more formidable opponent and potentially a playoff contender. And for the fans, this isn't just about one player. It's about the message that the team is serious, that they're willing to invest in young talent, and that they're committed to building a competitive roster for years to come. Olave's arrival could be the spark that transforms Washington's offense from a solid unit into one of the league's most dangerous. So, as we keep a close eye on the rumors and the official moves, remember, this kind of transaction doesn't happen every day. It's a rare opportunity for the Commanders to acquire a young star at a premium position. If they pull this off, it will be a statement that Washington is back in the conversation, ready to compete at the highest level and aiming for that elusive Super Bowl. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Olave is the perfect fit for Washington's offense? Would you support this trade if it happens? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. We're just getting started, folks, and this offseason promises to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. Thanks for sticking with us, and as always, let's keep the passion alive.